face it, life is complex. Life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. It's about taking the perceived scars of emotional, mental, and physical wounds and transforming them into inspirational miracles. Instead, we sometimes choose to cover up our wounds and build elaborate walls so that others can't see our pain. But what if your wounds, your scars, were not able to be hidden? What if they were out in plain view for everyone to see? Then what? This is the story of a woman I met through synchronistic events, and it's through her personal story that I learned about brokenness. Her name is Judy Squier, and she was born broken. Now, at first, broken to me means something that can't be fixed. My husband thought we were more imperfect instead of being broken, and I have a belief that we are unique. So I couldn't wrap my mind around being broken. That is, until I met Judy. The greatest gift Judy shared with me was her own self-transformation, and now I want to share it with you. This is how she awakened and began an amazing journey of authenticity.
I think I'm always connected now, but something had to happen. And I was in a counseling session, and it was just a ho-hum therapy session in my 3-year stint with counseling. And the therapist said, Judy, if adult Judy could talk to little Judy, what would she say? And we sat there. I looked at the ceiling, I looked at her couch. I was hoping she'd change the question. She didn't. And all of a sudden, gushing out of me was, I don't want to talk to her. She's a freak.
Judy was born with no legs and a deformed left hand, brokenness that was difficult to conceal. But like most of us, she learned how to build her own wall of separation. She found love and got married. And then she had children and lived her life down the same path we think we are expected to take until that counseling session. Then she chose a new path, a path that is not well traveled, one that is hidden in plain view.
Why would I go to a counselor when I'm 60 years old? Because I had internal contradictions, things that I was disappointed in myself, things that as a follower of God, I thought I would have matured through these things. So the counseling was a big leap for me. And I can't say that we addressed each contradiction, but the whole processing of it's who I am, not what I do. And I am beautifully and wonderfully made.
I asked Judy what her next step was on the pathway to authenticity.
Next step was voicing the pain, but then there was another, I guess it was a byproduct of voicing the pain, was becoming comfortable in my own skin. Being okay with my hand, but also the fact that I have no legs and I have stumps. So the way God wove this experience so that I am able to accept who I am, it was at a foot washing ceremony, which I fled the room because I was the only person in the room without feet. Phew! I hope that never happens again. Well, it was about a year or so later that I was telling some friends, and we were organizing a retreat, and we were brainstorming, how can we do some new things? And I said, the sky's the limit, but no foot washing.
Thank goodness the Lord had something different in mind for Judy.
Well, it was about a year or so later that I was telling some friends, and we were organizing a retreat, and we were brainstorming, how can we do some new things? And I said, the sky's the limit, but no foot washing. And one of the gals was getting her workshop material out, and she had a beautiful antique bowl and 2 wash rags. And I said, "Oh, what's that for?" And she said, "It's in case you okay a stump washing." And I said, "Put it away. There is no way." So it was the last day of the retreat, and we were praying, and one of the gals said, "Let's pray for Judy's upcoming trip to Romania, a mission trip." And so I wheeled into the center of the room and I threw up my hands and I said, "Pray for me." So about 10 women prayed, and I felt such love that I said, "Go get the bowl." So she got the bowl and she put it down in front of my wheelchair, and 2 friends knelt down. And I pulled up my skirt and they washed my stumps.
Yes, our resistance can make the journey difficult. Yet once we finally get out of our own way, the path is clear. And to remind us from where we started, we gather markers, tokens, symbols of our journey so we don't forget.
This does make me tingle. We didn't like this shoe growing up. It still has the rivet holes. It was connected to my metal stilts that I wore until I was 10, and then Shriners amputated the little deformity that I had so I could wear artificial limbs. But this shoe and the metal stilts got lost in the shuffle when I went away to college and married and came out to California and had a career as a speech pathologist, and the metal stilts were hanging in the garage. And one weekend Dad was out there puttering and he looked up and there they were. And I can imagine him just going, oh, remembering how hard it was to take on the challenges of having a child with a disability. But suddenly he realized, wait a minute, that girl married, she had a career, she is giving birth to children, they have legs. And so he took the stilts off the nail, went down in his hobby shop in the cellar, and he put the metal stilts in a vise and sawed through the rivet and held this shoe. And dirty brown didn't fit the occasion. So he reached up and took the spray paint and painted it gold. And so he came out and brought this to me. And it has become the family trophy. What was the symbol of my brokenness became the symbol of wholeness, as we saw that you don't stay broken, that you become a masterpiece. And thanks to your brokenness, that's the victory, that something phenomenal can be made out of that.
Yes, Judy, that is the victory. It's not just about missing pieces, not just legs, deformed hands, but it's about self-esteem, strength, and courage. And it's not just about me or you. It's about remembering that we are all spiritual beings, living in human vessels and journeying within as we find God, His Majesty, the Master Teacher, and then our brokenness is redeemed.
And I usually have in this shoe Dad's verse, which is from Job. It says, God, you know the way that I take, and when you have tried me, I shall come forth as gold. It wasn't just the shoe that turned gold, it was our whole family. And then I have a verse, and it's from the 119th Psalm, and it says, "The affliction you gave me, God, it's the best thing that could have happened to me, for it has taught me to pay attention to your statutes. They are more precious to me than silver and gold." Well, the story used to stop there, but now I'm a grandma, and my middle daughter is the one that wants this shoe. So she has given me something to convince me that her two sisters shouldn't have it, but she should, because she's trading me these little gold shoes that are my granddaughter's. And these little gold shoes just are a constant reminder. Don't quit before the happy ending. An orthopedic shoe is going to take you through boot camp, and you're going to come forth as gold. And then you're going to celebrate not just your three daughters with shoes and normal legs, but a granddaughter.
Judy shared with me many of her experiences with brokenness, but it was when she referred to her authentic path as being on holy ground that I really got curious, and so I asked her to share with me what that meant to her.
Holy ground to me is admitting that I am broken, and admitting that opens the door for the healing and the healer to come in. And even writing my book, I realized that in my childhood, in my teen years, as a mother of three daughters, God was with me. He was on the scene, but I never saw him there. I didn't realize it. I was too drowning in life. And so someone has said that writing gives you an opportunity to live life a second time. And it was in that second time that I'd go, "Oh, you were at Shriners Hospital with me. Oh, you were with me on lonely weekends when I sat and played at the piano." And so that became holy ground. Just the realization that I wasn't alone.
So what did I learn from Judy Squier's experience with brokenness? I learned that brokenness is a separation from our Creator, and it is a deep spiritual hunger to find the meaning of our life, and with that comes redemption. The healing begins when we decide to follow the authentic path that our spirit within craves. It's about breaking through the outward human vessel to the spirit within, the whole connection. It's about making choices that are aligned with spirit so our relationships are more fulfilling, our work has more purpose, and our passion is ignited. It's about thinking and living outside the box of man and embracing the potential of spirit. Yes, I learned a lot from Judy Squier, and the best part is, I'm glad we're soul sisters on the same path to authenticity. Join us, won't you?